T. It's in the name.
This episode of Helping Healing Humor is brought to you by another show in the Ben and Travis universe, The Long Yes with Travis and Whitney. Most people see the stage, the sermons, the Sunday mornings, but they don't always see the quiet yeses, the hard yeses, the everyday yes that nobody applauds. On The Long Yes, Whitney and I have honest conversations about faith, family, ministry, and what it looks like to keep saying yes to God over the long haul. If you're a minister, a church volunteer, a ministry spouse, or just someone trying to lead your family well, this podcast is for you. Go to benandtravis.com, click the podcast button, and look for The Long Yes with Travis and Whitney, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and start saying yes for the long haul. Welcome into Helping Healing Humor with Ben and Travis podcast. I'm Travis Creasy, pulpit minister at Westgate Church of Christ. That is All-Pro counselor Ben Hayes at Marcel Bible School in Florence, Alabama. Three-chord counseling, also the pulpit minister at Highland Park Church of Christ, and whatever else you can come up with him to do, he'll do it.
Now, I'm trying to not do any more things, but
Ben Hayes guarantee.
But I am enjoying the things that I'm doing. I'm really pumped that the school year is winding down, though. So that's always a good thing. Start getting into the summer months. Of course, they will, I'll always say, it's going to slow down a little. It's not. We're going to have VBS and mission trip and other things that will be going on. Camp. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. I'm getting to help direct a week of camp this year. So there's that. So anyway, it's going to be good. You're going to come to town for camp at least one.
Yeah, the plan right now is, Maywood. That was a mutiny on the way down to Dothan. And as we were moving, literally, my kids weeping in the back of the car. Do we still get to go to Maywood? And I said, yes, you're going to Maywood. And that's partly because of your children, because they love spending time with your kiddos. I know Daniel and Cypress have picked up right where we left off.
Yep.
Enjoying time together. And of course, I wouldn't trade that for anything. So it's like, we'll keep the Maywood alive, and then Titus Camp.
So y'all going to get to come to Titus Camp then?
I believe so. There's not been any stopping that just yet. So we'll see. But that's the plan.
What's the week of Titus Camp for those of you?
Titus Camp is, it's that week in July. It's not the week.
Is it like the 12th through the 17th, maybe?
Let's see.
Or 12th through the
you nailed it.
Nice.
Okay. I think we're starting.
That's our VBS week, and I think it's fallen on that a couple of times.
I think we're starting on Monday and rolling through the 18th. So it's 13th to the 18th. $25 to go to camp. $25.
Incredibly cheap.
You're going to get trained to preach and teach the Bible. A lot of fun things that we do. A lot of different events. I know we've been to a Trash Pandas game before. We've gone skating. We go to the park. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a little different than what you think of when you think of camp. But it's coming up. You can register still. Like I said, $25.
It's very in-depth classes. It's more like a week of college. I mean, it's really, it's not for the faint of heart, there's some really cool stuff in it. I don't get to stay all week. I usually try to help some. Again, it's our VBS week. So, which is a good thing, which means I will be in town. I just will probably not be at the night events until later in the week. But I usually try to make part of it. I love it. I think they do a really great job of teaching some kids how to teach and how to think, and so it's not just, hey, we're doing a lot of fun things and then we happen to have a devotional once or twice. It's very teaching oriented. So good stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing Man in the Morning, 10-minute devotional to start the day every day. You did the original week and I've done it ever since.
Yep.
And even in my offering to let other people do it, I guess it's tradition now that I'm on for the hook. And then I'm also teaching one of the in-depth courses that you're talking about.
Okay.
And it's really a topic that I haven't spent a lot of time on. And for fear of mispronouncing or being wrong, I'm not going to say what it is just to make sure that I'm still doing it. But
Now, Ben, it's Mental Health Month. You have been doing, I'm sure we will tag on the end, the Adventures in Mental Health Toolkit. I've kind of connected it with the Adventures of Ben and Travis Toolkit, which is cool. And like I said, we'll hopefully have one on the hook at the end of this episode as well. But it's just awesome that there is a Mental Health Month. I think we've talked at length about even part of us is still in that era where you kind of bottle things up.
Yeah.
Kind of push them down.
It's been that way for a long, long time. And I think we have finally gotten over the hump, maybe, if that's a way to put it, over the hump of, in the church at least, of starting to allow some of these conversations to happen. And maybe not allow them, but encouraging them. And I think that's a good thing. A lot of churches that I end up going to visit, that we do our mental health stuff, or when I've done some on my own, they're like, thank you for covering that topic. It's something that we have needed covered. It's something that we love to hear people talk about. Lonnie Jones, of course, has done a great job of opening that door too. There's others out there, obviously, who are doing it. Several guys that do some of the, I think what would be classified as that. Jason Helton, that does some of the things with digital, and that's almost a counseling topic as well. And so I think a lot of those things are like, okay, these are real world things that we're dealing with. Just because we're a part of the church doesn't mean we're not going to deal with depression, with anxiety, with addictions, with addiction to internet, and the things that we do there. So there's a need. It's all out there.
We have a lot of ground to make up for lost time. And so that's certainly what this podcast is about. I'll tell you what's helped my mental health over the last few weeks is my oncologist coming in surprisingly and announcing that I'm cured. Awesome. I don't know that that's a phrase I necessarily thought would ever happen. I've been in remission since 2019, diagnosed in 18, remission 19. But the phrase cured, and then I'm being released. I don't know what I'm being released into, but I'm being released from every 6 months doing a checkup, which is kind of an interesting thing because there's that safety net, right? Like, they're going to stay on top of this thing, which they still will because it's a pretty easy check on the blood that you do pretty much every time you go to the hospital.
So will there be no more checkups, or will it be like once a year, or is it just like, hey, we're turning you loose unless there's an issue?
Well, I'm 45, so there definitely is one that everybody else gets at 45.
The fun one's coming.
I think they bumped up 5 years just for me.
Very nice.
But other than that, no, it'll be, he's basically like, hey, you're coming to Huntsville. There's no reason to come back up here. You're cured. I'm going to release you and give you a suggestion for someone in Dothan to get, the 45-year checkup with, and then they'll go from there. But no more trips to Huntsville, no more 6 months out, no more year, cured.
Well, congratulations. That's huge. I know this whole podcast kind of started from that. When you were going through that diagnosis, at least kind of working through the aftermath of that diagnosis, that was where we said, hey, let's start this podcast and talk about some of these things because I need to talk about them. And, that's allowed us over the last, 6 years, 5 years? How long have we done this thing now?
Spring of 19, maybe March of 19. So
it's almost 7 years that we've done this podcast. And because of a difficult thing. And so that tells you a lot of the mindset of kind of what we're trying to do with the Helping Healing Humor podcast is let's take some difficult things and let's talk about them. Let's get them out there. Let's process them. And then maybe in doing so, we help some other people with difficult things. And of course, mental health wise, how do you go through some of these deals? So I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your foresight in going, hey, let's do this because it will be good for me, but it may also be good for other people. And I think it's been good for us. So it's almost a daily or a weekly counseling session that we get to have with each other. And you joke a lot and say you're the guinea pig, but there's a lot of it that I need it too. So I need the check-in, I need the accountability. And so it's been very helpful to me.
Yeah, you can go back and watch the videos and see the various degrees of hair that I had through that whole process, and the weight that I gained back.
And the varying degree of
the gray beard. So, well, I appreciate you being along for the ride, Ben, and jumping on and going along. And this is not a goodbye. We're going to continue to make episodes, but just wanted to jump on for a few minutes and tell everybody thank you for your prayers and watching the things that we put out there, because otherwise they'd be out in the void, which we probably still do them, but it's not nearly as fun as folks.
Knowing you hear them and knowing that they're helpful is a great thing.
So we appreciate it. And actually, we're going to end this episode and jump on podcast with Dear Church with Chris McCurley. So how about that?
Go enjoy that.
We've officially hit the big time.
Let's go.
We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.